Hi, good evening. We'll start the session now. The last class we discussed about the first topic, introduction to the software test. Right. Introduction to the software testing. So in this, what are the things I explained? So what is software testing? When you talk about the software testing, in simple, we can say it is it will help to deliver reliable software to the customer. To stay in business, to get the client satisfaction, where we go for the software testing, right? Software testing will help to deliver reliable software to the customer. Software testing will help to deliver reliable software to the customer. It will reduce maintenance cost. These are the advantages we have. Now, difference among the error, defect, bug, and failure. Difference among the error, defect, bug, and failure. What is an error? Generally, the mistakes which are identified in a program's level or source code of the application or source code of the application is called error. There can be logical error or syntax error. Defect means it is a deviation between expected to actual results in AUT. Expected to actual results in AUT application under test. What we expect and how application is going to respond. We have to check. There is a difference among the error defect. But once the defects are identified, when you report to the developers, whenever defects are identified, if you report to developers, developers will do the review on the defects in order to confirm okay if developers are accepted our defects which you reported. Developers are accept our defects which we reported. Then those are called bugs. A failure. What is that my failure means? If suppose we tested, then we deliver the software to the customer. While using software, if customer identified more number of defects, then it is called failure software. The more number of defects in application will cause the system failure. Will cause the system failure. That is a see error, some code level mistakes. Defect bug means some component is not working or some feature is not working. Some component not working or some feature is not working. Then it is called as defect. The valid means bug we are going to call. More features are not working in the application. More features are not working in the application. Then it is called failure software. Okay, that is called failure software. Next, some of the major activities in software company. What are the major activities? First one more coding. What is the meaning of coding? Writing the programs using either programming languages or scripting languages in order to develop the software. Okay, writing the programs using either programming or scripting languages in order to develop the software is called coding. Then after coding, we have the testing. Once the software developed, that will be given to the separate testing team where testers are going to test the software as per the client specifications is called testing. Right now. Now, during the testing, we may identify the defects. When we identify defects, then we are going to report to the developers. So that is called defect reporting. Means notifying about the defects to developers. Notifying about the defects to developers is called defect reporting. Notifying about the defects developers is called defect reporting. Then once they reported defects, developers are going to analyze the source code of the application. Developers are going to analyze the source code of the application in order to confirm those defects are valid or not. Those defects are valid or not. So that is the testing where we are going to call. So that kind of activity where we are going to call more debugging, analyzing source code of the application, analyzing source code of the application in order to identify root cause for a defect. So that is debugging we are going to call. Now, why this defect is raised, where they did a mistake, they have to analyze it is. That kind of activity which are going to call, so debugging. Then bug fixing, modifying source code of the application in order to solve the defects. Modifying source code of the application in order to solve the defects is called bug fixing. Right. See, as a testing unit, we do testing, defect reporting. These are the major activities which are going to perform. Then types of software testing. We have the two kind of testings. One is called manual testing. The second one is called automation testing. What is meaning of manual testing? What is a manual testing? Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify actual behavior while performing operations is called is called manual testing. Without using any automation tool, test engineer directly interact with application to verify the actual behavior while performing operations is called manual testing. But when we go for the manual testing, we are going to derive the test cases which are used to validate the application. So remember like this. So in simple, as a test engineer, you refer the test cases which you prepare. Using those test cases, we are going to test the application. AUT, application under test or system under test also we are going to call this. Application under test or a system under test. But what is the disadvantage of this kind of manual testing? More time it's going to take. To overcome that, we can go for the automation testing. What is the meaning of automation testing? Generally, as a test engineer, so we use the some tool to test the application. Directly, we are not going to interact. We use some tool with the help of the tool where we are going to the test the application. Right. The automation testing. Automating human activities in order to validate the application is called automation testing. Automating human activities in order to validate the application is called automation testing. But automation testing can be performed using programming languages or scripting languages or using some third-party automation tools. Some third-party automation tools like Selenium, Q2P, Okay, playwright. This kind of tools where we are going to use. Whereas whenever we go for automation testing, means instead of test cases, we have to develop the automation tester script. But when I go for automation testing, fast in execution, fast in execution. Okay, these are the topics we covered already. Okay, then second chapter we have introduction to software. Introduction to software. So now here, what is software program? How do you define the software program? So generally we can say a set of statements, logics, and related data to perform specific task in a system. Some statements, logics, and related data to perform specific task in a system is called software program. Right. And let me show one simple program here. So I'm going to write a simple Java program here. So int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20, then int c equal to a star b. Finally, I'm going to say the system dot out dot println of c. So this is simple Java program. So which task it will do? Multiplication. By seeing the which line, we can say it has to go for the multiplication. This one, right? Ma? So this is what we are going to call logic. We are going to call according to your requirements. We do like this. This is the logic here. Now, which values it will go for the multiplication? 10 under 20. 10 under 20. This is where we are going to call data or values. Data or values. Now, observe the definition. What I said that software program, Java software program means we'll have the set of statements. We have some statements are not by here. We have the some statements. And there will be logic and related data to perform specific task in a system. To perform specific task in a system. This is what the software program. Now, if I go for the calculator, when you talk about the calculator, right? So calculator is the software or software program. Generally, we call it software. Software we are going to say. Then what is the software means? Understand. What is software? What is software? So software here in set of instructions or programs to perform related transactions in a system is called software. Set of instructions or programs to perform related transactions in a system is called software. Is called software. Okay, if I go for the example, notepad, which I'm writing the notes, notepad, or calculator. In daily life, what are the things we are going to use in your systems? That comes under software only. Now, Zoom online meeting application. IST bank.com. This all comes under software. based on development. No, there are two types of software. Based on development, we have the two types of software. One is called product based software. The second one is called project based software. Product based software, project based software. So, what is the meaning of that? Product based software to the project based software. Whenever a software developed based on generic or standard requirements, whenever software developed based on generic or standard requirements of a particular industry or segment of people in the market, those are called product based software. If you observe that Zoom online meeting is there, it is not developed based on my requirements or your requirements, right? Product based software. Whenever software developed based on generic or standard requirements of a particular industry or segment of people in the market, then it is called product based software. Right. If I go for the Zoom online meeting or WhatsApp, or if you go for the Facebook, so Google search engine, this all comes under product based software. This all comes under product based software. So when you go for the project based, whenever software developed based on particular organization or client requirements, then it is called project based software. Remember, whenever software developed based on particular organization or client requirements, then it is considered as a project based software, like this. Here, product based software, project based software. So what are the examples? If I go for the ICICIbank.com is there. ICICIbank.com, which is developed based on that company or that organization requirements, right? No? According to that company requirements, it is developed. So it is comes under project based software. Right. The difference among the client, end user, and the company. Okay. First one was client, also called as customer or stakeholder. That means it can be an organization or individual person who will provide requirements to develop the software. It can be an organization or individual person who will provide requirements to develop the software. Right. That means if I go for the ICICIbank.com, who is the client here? ICICI Bank. They given the requirements. According to their requirements, it is developed. In other words, we can say or who will buy the license to use software in their business. Who will buy the license to use software in their business. Also called as client or customer or stakeholder. Right. Now, that means if you want to take the classes through online, here Durgasoft has to buy the license. So it is an organization. So, but still is the client who is going to buy the license to use the software. The second, suppose if I go for the online meeting, Zoom online meeting application, presenter and participants comes under end user. I and yourself comes under end user. We are using it is then company. Company means it is an organization where software developed as per client business requirements. It is an organization where software developed as per client requirements. Now, if I go for the example now, Infosys, TCS, Essential, Microsoft, Google, Apple. These are the different companies are there. The different companies are there. Now, Okay, these are the things. Now again, based on the work, there are two types of companies in IT industry. Based on work, we have the two types of companies in IT industry. One is product based company. Second one is service based company. Product based company and service based company. What is that much difference? Product based company, the company which will focus on their own products to develop. Like if I go for the Microsoft, Google, Apple, if you go with your requirement, they won't accept. They say we are busy with our own products. There's a product based company. Service based company means the company which will develop individual projects for individual clients. For individual projects, for individual client. That is called service based company like Infosys, TCS, essentially. If you go with requirements, they will go and accept it, right? No? Like that. For human activities. Okay, that is the class for us today. Tomorrow we'll continue the session. The notes will be shared to you once there's some numbers are given. If your registrations are completed, then we are going to share the notes and recording sessions to you. So you can find the chat box. In the chat box, the numbers, everything they given. You can use it is right. Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow. I will give my personal WhatsApp number once the registration completed, so that I will go to share the notes everything through WhatsApp channel. Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow.